Hey, good morning. Hello, everybody. Welcome to an episode of the Rich Buddy live show where we talk about luxury wristwatches. It's been a minute, a long minute, and we'll see if anybody pops into the stream. It's about 2:30 a.m., so I don't really expect anybody much to be up, but I'm up and I thought I would just take a peek at some watches. I know you guys don't see me much anymore, so I hope you guys are all doing well. I've seen better days, but I do enjoy looking at wristwatches every single day. I'm not going to lie. I look at them all day long. I look at them every day. I love watches. I love them. And I'm still always looking at them. Still thinking about my next play, my next watch. Yeah. And they still excite me. Hope one of these days we'll get into the Rich Buddy live show a little bit more often. I kind of fell out of touch with a little bit of my watch pals, so maybe we can rekindle ourselves and get kind of going again here, hopefully one of these days. You know how that goes, though. Easier said than done. But I thought I'm going to just go on and take a look at some watches with you today, since I usually do it on my own. I'm going to do it with you guys and see if anybody wants to join me this morning. So let me switch over here to the European Watch Company screen. All right. Give me a second here. So a lot of the watches are affordable and they're almost at retail, if not at retail plus sales tax equivalent. Rolex Daytonas have gone down from a peak of 50,000 to now 30,000. And I'll tell you, my appetite for picking picking something up has grown tremendously because of the price drops. I mean, especially Rolexes, I'd be interested in picking up. It's just not the right timing for me, but they are out there. There's some really good picks out there. Just for $5,000. I mean, you know, you can't roll. I'm wearing my 36 right now, as a matter of I haven't tried live streaming lately, as well, is because I've been having a problem with my Mac computer. So it seems like it's working now, but it actually does tell me that I'm having a very poor connection. But I've been having troubles with this dang computer. So let's see here. But I mean, this is one of the watches I've always wanted to pick up, just with and here's a chance in dollars. The only thing with one of these is I've always wanted the Datejust bracelet that has the hidden clasp as well. But this is what watches have you guys been interested in now that the prices have come down? Specifically, let's talk Rolex as people are coming in here. So let's pose this question. As watch price, Rolex prices have become definitely more attractive. Rolexes that have piqued your interest or caught your eye. Specifically for me, I'm going to say one of the ones that jumps out at me the most is the Rolex Kermit. I'm not talking about the new Kermit, the old Kermit, the one that Burnett has. Those have come down quite a bit. At the peak, those were going up around $20,000, I think. Now you're down to being able to pick one up for $13,000, and that's a 50th anniversary that we're talking about. So I'm interested in adding a Kermit to the collection, and it's not even a watch I would wear. So I think in time that might be something I might do. Anybody else have a watch they might be interested in picking up? Let me see here. And we got now you've got the new Rolex for $13,000. That's kind of pricey, isn't it? $12,900, but that is the newest one. It doesn't give a date here, but it's going to be probably 2024 or 2023. Moonwatch for 5,000. That seems kind of pricey. Tudor Oyster Date. There might be some good pickups in the vintage category too. Although I was right about my foresight that I had back upon a time regarding the vintage watches, that when watch prices come down, they'll hold more of the value that they've gained in appreciation, as opposed to the new retail watches, which will, have room to go down to retail. The vintage stuff gets rarer and more sought after year, and the pool on those watches gets shallower and shallower, as does the quality of those watches. Wow, that's kind of a lot. 15,000 for a stainless steel Datejust. Wow. I wouldn't even consider this for a purchase, would you? That seems grossly overpriced considering go for. It's kind of anything about this in particular. What else we got? That's a pretty Breguet. Yeah, I just thought I'd hang out a little bit and take a look at some watches. I do this on my own all day long. I got to be honest with you. I sit here and I look at all these watches, and has been on my radar. Not that I'm seriously gonna ever buy one, but it's been on my radar. I've been looking at them more than I ever have. I'll show you one here that almost got me to pull the trigger. I'll show you one. Let's go ahead and look at it. You guys like Breguet? I'll show you one here that but the one that I liked a lot. Did they sell it? Right here. I like this one a lot. Oh, I mean, oh, there's an issue. There's something major going on here, so I'm not even sure how the live stream is going right now on the other end. But man, I'll tell you, if it was the right timing or whatever you want to call it to pull the trigger on a Breguet right now, I'd be pulling the trigger on this one. What do you think of this watch? I like this one a lot. There we go, full screen. 3 different guilloche patterns. They have patterned watches with 4 and 5 guilloche patterns, but it all depends on the watch, how many features they have going on and stuff. But you can see this one has 3 different patterns. And I mean, I think this one's pretty fabulous looking. And of course, Breguet is well known for that coin edging, which, that is a unique look. And I admit, it's a nice case look. Doesn't it? I mean, let's talk about that for an instant. Can you even compare the cases of any of the FP Journes with this case that we're looking at right here? I mean, can you even? Would you be insulting Breguet by trying to even make that pale comparison? Am I correct in saying that? And I'll tell you something else. Not only am I turned off by the arrogance of the brand, the simple case, the lack of case design, but what's with the unique one of screws that are used to encase the watch? How are you going to get that serviced once they're gone? I mean, at least if you buy a Grubel Force or whatever other micro brand, they could open the dang thing, right? But who's going to service that? Who's going to service that? That company that went in partnership with FP Journe, right? They're going to service that. Good luck, though. I mean, good luck with that, right? and then at the same time, it's going to depend on the watch you're getting serviced. I'm into time only pieces for the most part, but if you have a pretty complicated piece from the Journe house, that's going to be difficult to get serviced once that gentleman's not around anymore, don't you think? So I don't know. I just to me, I've already found bigger and better things. I want to say that my watch taste has matured to where I've gone to like some things and come back to like other things that I didn't like as much before, or maybe I hold up certain brands to higher esteem than I did before, or I've placed a different ranking on brands. But I'm pretty comfortable in knowing what I want now for the most part. What do you guys think about that? That's a beautiful piece, isn't it? And for 20,000, it's at I think it's at about a 50% discount, probably more, probably like at a 60% discount. Isn't that great? So that's the Breguet that right there. You know what I mean? And that's a 7137 is what they call that. And I mean, if you want a tourbillon, I mean, they've got tourbillons here that are more affordable. It's because Breguet takes quite a beating in the secondary market. But heck, if you're loving a Breguet, I mean, right? It's the place to get it is the secondary market, and not worry about taking a beating on it if that's what you want. I mean, like, look at this. What's the difference between these two? These are both platinum tourbillons. Might as well look at the less expensive one. Look at the Breguet pattern here on top of the platinum engraved case. Look at that. Beautiful etching. I love that, the Breguet emblem that spins around on top of the wheel here. There's something so pleasant about a simple time only dial for me. That's why I wanted that Havana. The color scheme of that is what really pulled me into that watch. I mean, I do think it's beautiful. But there's more to a watch than its initial appearance, I suppose. Wow, that's some beautiful art, isn't it? Look at that. Wonderful. And I have no doubt the MSRP on something like this was probably 125,000. So Breguet, that's Breguet, isn't that? Wasn't that a pretty Breguet? That one that I'm really. And I mean, for 20,000, that's about as l- the least expensive you can get once you step into horology right above Rolex, right? You're least expensive you can get into a Patek for, isn't it? A little fun looking at them. Any under 10,000 that are fun, fun watches. And I mean, like this one. Look right there, right there. There's a watch that jumps out at me that I will. Would all. I'm freezing up, so nobody's hanging out because I'm freezing up in and out, ain't I? Oh, bummer. Let me check it out. If it doesn't fix, then I'm gonna have to end the stream. I'm sorry. I was just getting into this too. Shoot. Let's see. It's totally frozen? Ah, what a bummer. It's not working out. Okay. Now it's working again. Okay, it doesn't look like it's working well. I think I have to end the stream. Do I? I'll try this again. Okay. Let's try this again. So maybe this will work. That's a pretty good watch right there. Save. There's a couple of scratches on the bezel, but so let's take a look at some here. I think the stream's working fine now. So let's take a look at some here. New model Air King. I've always liked the Air King. I don't know why people don't like it. The left-handed watch. That is so funky looking, isn't it? That's so cool, though. I mean, it's about time they made one of those for left-handers. I would imagine my son will want one of those when he gets older one day because they're both left-handed. Both my boys are left-handed. Isn't that weird? Let's see here. 50th anniversary Red Sea Dweller. If somebody wants to add that to their collection, those have come down. I mean, that's just a pretty perpetual right there. Now, you see these came down, but they didn't come down all the way to the prices they were originally selling at, right? I sold my watch like this, my 116520 to fella for 16,000. I don't know if you're going to see 16,000 on these again. And mine was like this. It had box, hang tags, papers, everything. So he's up 5,000-6,000 on that watch right now. I don't know if those will come down, back down. That's kind of amazing. The stainless steel Pepsi has held its value and that hasn't come down at all. Isn't that interesting? You see that? 19.5. How would you explain that? I can explain that. But isn't that interesting though? That one hasn't come down whatsoever. I mean, it did a little bit, right? That was in the 20s a little bit, wasn't it? But still at 19.5, it doesn't seem like it came down. What was the peak on that watch? It's just that the production on that was so low. Why is the production on this one so low? I don't even know if I've ever seen one of these or if any of the guys have ever come across one or even bought one, right? I don't think Bud has ever touched a 126710 stainless steel Pepsi, right? So I think this is one of the hard ones to get. I'm going to ask him about that. I don't think he has this watch. It's one of the ones he doesn't have. Is the stream working a little better now? I'm sorry about that if it wasn't working. I had a YouTube window up, and that might have been that was making it worse. Adding on to the computer problems I already got. Wow, that's a lot, isn't it? 31.9 for a gold Sky Dweller on a strap. Isn't that a lot? Holy cow, that's a lot. Considering there's no bracelet, that's a lot. I want to see what this looks like. This is pretty. So this is a 5-year-old watch. Wow. Wow. I'm just looking at this not only because it's pretty, but I'm just a little astonished on the price in today's market. There's a few oddballs to me, like this one. Don't you think? When you look at some of the other watches we're looking at, and then you look at this and be like, how they're asking $32,000 for this. I consider this as an oddball. I'm going to pay attention to how long this one stays available. Curious. Because let's see if they have any other Sky Dwellers up here. Let's see. I don't think there was any here. Let's see down here. With a solid gold bracelet, you know. I mean, here's a two-tone for half the price. I know the gold one was prettier, though, for sure. Batman for 15. I mean, those have kind of held pretty well, right? You know, the Batman, this Batman with the oyster bracelet, guys, you got to give it respect. Because why? Because they came out with that Jubilee bracelet version all over this one, and this one's still holding 14.9, right? So we got to give this watch some respect. And I still think this is the best GMT out there, sports GMT, without a doubt. You know, sports GMT. Of my 7 Rolexes, I think I find that I wear the Batman the most. What do you guys wear the most? I know Bud would say he wears the Hulk the most. But for me, I'm going to say it's the Batman on that rubber B strap. I think that's what I wear the most. I wear that watch almost pretty much all year long. You know how I don't switch watches that often. So I think I'm switching watches less often because I don't want to damage them. I like the Batman. I always gravitate towards pulling that one on. I don't know what it is, the blue color, the oyster B. I mean, I have the Daytona ceramic Daytona black dial on the rubber B strap as well with the deployant. But why don't I grab the Daytona? Why do I grab the Batman instead? I think because the Batman pops with that blue and it's got the big bezel, and I'm maybe less afraid to damage it than the Daytona. I mean, those are all valid reasons, especially the last one. But I'm gonna throw a link up there in case there's anybody I know that wants to join, like Thomas B or whatever, anybody else. And you know what? I can't believe Mark Goodall has passed. Sirocco Sales. He was a friend of the channel here, and I knew him through the watch community, and I just don't even know what to say. That took me really. It's very upsetting that we've lost Mark. So I like the steel dial, black dial. This one. This is a good one right here. That's a good one. That for me, that's my favorite Sky Dweller. The black dial Sky Dwellers are my favorite ones. I like that. And that's just all stainless. Oh, that's white gold. No, it's stainless steel. Yeah, 17,000. It's going to be white gold bezel, but stainless steel. You know, here, like this, for instance. Wow, look at that. 92,000 for a, just because it's a meteorite dial. Is that like a Paul Newman dial too? No. But look at that. That is just, that's crazy. So I'm not sure. I mean, I know watch prices have come down, so it's just, why are there some oddballs like this? I mean, do you really think there's someone who's going to fork out $92K for that because it's got a meteorite dial? I don't. It's just, come on, man. I'd have to snap somebody out of it if they're thinking of buying this. Wait, come on, what you thinking? Right? Wouldn't somebody be nuts to have to get this? Fuck. I mean, and is it a it's white gold. It's white gold, but wouldn't it be better in all white gold bracelet too, especially for the 92K? But picture that with a solid gold, white gold bracelet. Man, that would be solid, wouldn't it? I think it would look much better with the whole shebang, the whole shebanger. So that's what I'm talking about. That's an oddball, right? For sure, that's an oddball. Okay, here's what I'm talking about. There's a solid gold Solid gold Sky Dweller, 50K. So, man, so this is what they're going for. Look at this. Huh. Somebody want to tell me why the Sky Dwellers are up in price? I mean, you know, these were never $50,000, and they're wanting that much for the new ones. I mean, I know there was an inflation adjustment, right? The prices went up, but you know, I'm gonna guess these are retailing for 38. Maybe that's a premium. I'm gonna look that up on Rolex.com. Hold on. It's kind of bugging me now. That's kind of bugging me. 50,000 for a. Let's see how much. I might be freezing because I'm trying to look up something else. Okay, it said the site was not secure, so I'm being phished or something. Hold on. Great. It's telling me not to go to the Rolex site. Well, let me just Google Rolex Sky Dweller. MSRP. Let's see what this comes up with on my search. Huh. I'm trying to go to the Rolex site. Give me a second. I don't even know if somebody joined the stream, if it would even work. My computer is just not having it today. Let me share this tab. Here we go. There we go. Okay, I'm gonna make a move this week to resolve this computer issue so I can live stream again. Okay, here we go. So the challenge of finding a watch on here again. Let me go to Sky Dweller. I don't see Sky Dweller here. Okay. It's going to be under the classics, I guess, huh? I'm guessing 39,000. Let's see what these things are. Configure. Here we go. I mean, just like that, that's fine, right? Holy crud. $53,000. Wow. Their MSRP right here, the bottom left, right there, 53,000. Whoa. 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 When did that happen? Like, when did that happen? What? 53,000? I'm just a little kind of, I'm not sure. Am I in another universe or something? I'm going to have to talk to Buddy Boy about that. I mean, he's the Sky Dweller expert, but I just don't remember. I mean, shoot me if I'm wrong, but I don't ever remember a Sky Dweller being 53,000 MSRP. Whoa. Okay. That's interesting. I'm going to take a look at a couple of others here real quick. What do I want to look at? MSRP of a, well, how about just a sub date? How about the Batman? Is that not 10,000 anymore? Because that was $10,000. So it's still 10,000. 10,007. Okay. All right. I'll try to forget about this, and I guess Sky Dwellers are 50 grand. I guess I learned something new today. Well, I mean, in that case, this is a steal for 36. I mean, what do you want me to say? Look at that. It's 36K. I like the yellow more than the rose. Now this one looks nice. I'd do that instead of that one for 50. That's pretty. The gold on gold on gold on gold. That is pretty. That's the one right there for Sky Dwellers with the solid bracelet, of course. Yeah, like this versus the one on the strap, right? This is what I'm talking about. So you got this solid gold $36,000 solid gold bracelet, and then who's going to go buy this one? Right here. Why would you buy that for 31? It's the same damn watch, but with a solid gold bracelet for 5,000 more. What the heck? I mean, right? Man, yeah, some things don't make sense. I guess these things just don't make sense all the time. But yeah. So that would be but I honestly thought they were all about 36,000 on the used market, all the Sky Dwellers. That's just something that really blew me away right now. Oh, I saw this one, and I swear I wanted to grab it. And if it didn't say sale pending, honestly, there might have been a chance I would have already grabbed this one. You know, I mean, $5,000, you know, and the quality, and it had box and book, and I would have just loved to just stick this thing away. You know, I mean, they don't make quartz watches, you know, just for the history, for the sake of it, because I'm a watch guy, and I like a little watch history and this and that, and I just I like this watch. There's nothing wrong with it. I like it. I like it. Although I wouldn't have worn it because I wouldn't want to, you know, put any use on it, and I would just want to save it. But it's neat. How do you not like this? It's quirky. I love the edges on the case. It just, there's no other Rolex like this. So it's different. I think it's neat. It's the closest Rolex has ever come to AP Royal Oaks. And you do know that this is Gerald Genta inspired. So, yeah. A little bit of history. The quartz crisis. You know what I mean? When you find one that's in excellent condition, those kinds of things pique my interest. When things are in excellent condition, when good examples of watches that have interested me over the last 15 years, when they come up and there's good examples of them, especially now, those are the ones that interest me. Don't they interest you? Aren't those the ones that interest you? The ones that you've been the ones that have always been in your scope, the ones that have always been in your peripheral vision, but have always been there. Maybe they're not right in your scope, but they're in the scope of your blinders, and it's always been a watch you've said, maybe one day, when as I make money or become rich, or God willing, we become successful or don't lose our success, that we can put this in our pocket one day for fun, But yeah, this is one of them, that quartz watch right there, I like that. Those are the kind of watches that are piquing my interest as of late. Are those watches that I've caught my eye in the past. Yeah. But there's the Newman dial. I like that. I really dig that dial. I like the sub dials where they're clean like that. That is different. Now, I would pay for that as opposed to, paying a premium for something that doesn't have something different, as opposed to, yeah, I like that. Oh, I like that a lot. That's a thumbs up on that one. Look at that. That's pretty as heck. This may be one of the prettiest Daytona schemes out there. The one you're looking at on the screen right now, in my opinion. The yellow gold with this Newman face, just everything. The bezel, the red. This is an absolutely stunning cosmograph. Wow. That's a winning. I mean, this is a good argument for someone to oppose someone who says they can never come up with another new good dial. Well, here's one right here. Here's one for sure. I mean, you could write how many combinations can you make, but for somehow, some way, they came up with a good one right here. Very cool. So 40,000. Now I can get that. You see, I can get 40,000. I can see how they arrive at this price, you know? For sure. I can see that on this one. I see more value in this at 40 than the Sky Dweller at 50. I'd love to have a discussion with Bud about this right now. Ah, okay. Oh, what's going on? Who's this? What's happening? What's happening? 228396. 228396. What is that? Mother of pearl dial. Mother of pearl. Mop dial. Let me see. I don't see the mop dial one. Let me see here. I'm looking for it. Maybe that's a mop dial. Let me see here. This one here, is that a mop dial? I like that meteorite dial right here. This looks like the mop dial. Yeah. You like that with the diamond bezel? That's pretty nifty. I've never really checked. I've never really seen that. It's a baguette cut diamonds on the bezel. So that makes it masculine as opposed to, in my opinion, the round diamonds on the bezel give it that femininity. I think it really depends a lot. It depends a lot on the coloration, black dial. You know what I mean? It could be black dial all the way and be a man's watch no matter what. But the baguette cut here is straight. That's straight. Yeah, no, I dig that. 120K. That mop dial, it's the same mop dial as mine, right? Yeah. It's the same mop dial I got on my. I got that same mop dial on this. I love the mop dial. I'm so happy I bought it and I have one watch with a mop dial. I mean, it's, the president is the perfect watch to have the mother of pearl dial. What other watch makes sense to have that? A date just, for sure, a date just. But I just think that mother of pearl on a day date just works out just right. You know, man, that the diamond cut that's crazy. I like that diamond cut. That is crazy. A lot of sky dwellers. There's my Daytona. I love that watch. I mean, I love this watch. Let's pull it up and look at it. I love this watch. If the picture ever comes up. You know what? I got to close that other screen. Yep. See, it's the resources on the CPU are something's wrong. Okay. Wow. I forget how beautiful my own watch is. That is absolutely gorgeous with the silver discs, isn't it? Yeah. Absolutely beautiful with the silver discs. You know, when I bought this, I didn't have a choice. They called me and they said, we've got a black dial Daytona. Well, they didn't even say that. They said, we have a Daytona. If you want to come get it right now. I said, you have a Daytona right now there for me to pick up this instant? Yes. I'll be there. Give me 30 minutes. I was there. I was probably there in 20 minutes, to be honest. I think I just went. And so white dial, black dial, whatever they're going to give you, you're going to take, right? But I'm happy I got the black dial. You know, sometimes when something's forced upon you, you're not going to pull the trigger on it otherwise. And there's something special about this one. If you look at it and compare it to other Daytonas, being that this one has the black dial, it's got unique silver subdial discs. They are unique. That's not white. Those are silver, and it's very pretty, and it pops. I'm telling you, it pops. It's pretty, and the white Panda doesn't have that. You know, it's different materials on the right because the different aesthetics, different material. So yeah, I mean, if I could have them both, ideally, I'd want a Panda as well. And I think for the price here, what they're asking now, 25,000. You know, I think the watch is worth 25,000. They're going to cost you about what retail anyway? What are they retailing for? I know they went up, so they used to be 13 and a half. I'm just going to guess that they're 15 right now, right? I'm going to guess they're probably 14 too. Let's just say they're 14, 15 with tax. You know, you're coming out 16, 17. So you're paying a $8,000 premium without a wait. That's kind of key. Without a wait, you can just get it right now. So considering how much premium there is on other watches that have premiums, considering how hot of a watch it is and how desirable it is still, at least this one's held value, right? This one's held value, so this one's worth nearly double retail. Nearly double retail. I always thought that the Rolex Daytona was underpriced MSRP wise. As far as what they're selling it for at the boutique, I always thought 13,000 was too cheap. Don't you think? Look at other watch brands and what they sell watches for. And you know what's a chronograph cost at Patek? What's a chronograph cost at Breguet or AP? Well, any of those watch houses. And you know that it isn't like Rolex has so many versions of chronographs. They don't have a bunch of different model numbers or styles. They're everything's very pigeonholed. There's very few selections. You want a chronograph? You don't have two choices. You're getting a Daytona. It's one choice. So being that the Daytona is like really one of their top tier items, for it to be selling for 13 when it's a complicated piece. It's a chronograph function. It isn't a time only. A Calatrava time only sells for 25,000. And this is 13,000, and it's got a complication. One of the most desirable in the world, a Rolex chronograph Daytona, complicated. You get what I mean? I just think that this price, it's wacky. I think it's wacky how I think they could make more money on the Daytona, especially considering how much it always holds for in the secondary market. I'm surprised that Rolex held that $13,000 mark for so long and didn't just all of a sudden decide to go up to 17 one year and just raise the benchmark on that price and then go from there 10%, 17 to 19 to 20. It's still at the 30, you know what I mean? Just and I also think that raising the price of if let's say the Daytona was 19.5 instead of what it is, would the demand be less because the price is higher? Would that help lessen the demand for the watch? Because they obviously have a supply demand problem. So why don't they charge a little bit more for the watch? You and I know that even if it retailed for 20, it still would be a waiting list. But in theory, right? Theoretically, if you raise the price, right? You know what I'm saying? I don't have nobody in the studio. No Thomas Burnett here today. Yeah, what's up, Eric? How you doing? Well, that's like the president, sort of. You were meant. Well, no, it's not at all, actually. See, here's another. There's a vintage right here. Swiss only 10.9. A great time. And I do. One of the reasons why I might not have pulled the trigger on a couple of these things, and I'm kind of having regret about even one of the things I've seen that I didn't pull the trigger on, like a non-buy remorse, the opposite. But because the prices are just so. I saw a Patek. There was a Patek on here for 16,000, and I'm a bit upset with myself that I didn't pull the trigger on it. It's been bugging me. I should have bought it. It was a gondola, a gondolo. It was a gondola Patek with black gold numerals. It was beautiful. And it was 16,000, maybe they would have taken 14 for it. Who knows, right? I just think what a great price to add a second Patek to my collection for 15K. How can you go wrong? Adding a Patek to your collection for 15K, right? If you've never owned a Patek, I've got one, but I'll tell you this. It doesn't matter whether it has a complication or if it's a simple time. It doesn't make a damn difference what it is. As long as it's a Patek Philippe, the feeling is there. The whole feeling. Let me not undercut that to you. The whole feeling is there. The whole shebang is there. So don't think you need to chase after the grand comp that if you get a Patek, it's going to have to be that, that one. No. Get in when you see a deal. Go with what your budget can offer. A simple time. My 5196 already stopped working, so its papers were April 2019. So 5 years. So my Patek ran 5 years, and I hardly wore the damn thing. But it is what it is. It's not. It doesn't wind. It doesn't wind anymore. So I've got to take it in. I got to drive all the way to Beverly Hills to. What a pain in the ass. I got to drive all the way to Beverly Hills, like an hour and a half drive to drop my watch off for a service. So when is it going to get there? Sometime in the next couple of years, and when you have other watches to wear, my Patek Philippe's probably going to be sitting here for a while. I'm not going to be wearing a Patek for a while. But yeah, mind me, if you can get into a Patek, yeah, I regret not buying that gondolo. Damn. You know what? It's probably in the recently sold category. Let me show it to you. Yeah, it's going to be in here. This is one of those watches that every time I see it, it pulls on my heartstrings. And it came up again, the same watch, and I didn't pull the trigger on it. And it was priced right. It was priced right, and I didn't pull the trigger on it. So I'm just thinking the next time, buddy boy, pull the trigger, Let me show it to you. It's going to be here because it just sold. There it is. Tell me if you like that or not. That's the one that I wish I bought, and I'm upset with myself that I didn't buy it. I want that watch. $15K. Man, I should have bought that for $15,000. Right or not? I think it's absolutely beautiful. I love that watch. And, it has an extract. It doesn't have the original paper. So maybe that's why it was, at the price to where it was. And that would have been fine with me, because this isn't a watch I would have ever sold ever in my life. None of my Pateks. The Pateks, those are the Pateks you'll die with. The Rolexes, you want to have the papers for them because you'll sell them. The Patek, you can have your papers if you want, but does it really matter with the Patek? Because I'm never going to sell my Patek Philippe. Are you? I mean, right? You have to be stupid to sell your Patek Philippe. I mean, are you going to ever get that broke that you're going to have to get down to the Patek Philippe's? I mean, you're going to sell all your Rolexes and everything else first, right? But you're not going to touch your Pateks. Those are the last line. Anyway, that's the watch right there that I'm crying I didn't buy. Next time. White gold manual wind, 7.5 millimeter thickness, right? 7.5 millimeter, right? Proper. Isn't that proper? Proper watch, man. Like new. Yeah. Okay. Let me forget about that one before I start crying again. What do you think about that one though? Thumbs up, or that was a good one, right? Man, I've through Rolexes. I could do this all day long. This is what I do all day long. I sit here and I spend this much time going through these watches like this and just literally thinking about them like this, going through them, checking them out. That Gondolo really, 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 really is one of the watches I want. Thumbs up, huh? Yeah. I love that watch. And that's what I mean. I'm so in love with that stupid little $15,000 watch. Like, you can put a Grand Comp in front of me. It's not going to pull at my heart like that little Gondolo does with those black gold numerals, And that's the thing. That's great. Isn't it great that it's a $15,000 watch that's pulling me in, not a $50,000 one? So I don't have to, it doesn't always have to be that, you know. Oh, sorry. Time out. Oh. That one there, every time I see that Yachtmaster now, I think of good old Sirocco Sales. God bless him. We did a few shows, Sirocco Sales and I. If you missed a lot of the late night twilights, he was on a lot of the late night twilight shows where I came on by myself like this, right around this time at 2 a.m. All those times I came up when I was in pain, like I am now with my back and everything. And Sirocco would join the stream, and we would talk watches. So there's actually quite a few streams with Sirocco Sales on here. It's likewise with Blue Shirt Buddha. Both those chaps are on here. Damn it, that sucks. So here's a good one. 10.9, 10.9's good. These are good watches for the price. This is another one. Okay. So this Rolex is that kind of in the back of my mind. This is a Rolex I've always wanted because it's the pure clean white dial. I don't have any white dial watches. This is in my mind like um, other than the Omegas, the Omega Seamaster white dial Aqua Terrace, is that what they're called? Those have amazing, beautiful white dials as well. The Omega Aqua Terrace, I think they're called. But I like the white dial. This is one of the most underrated Rolexes, in my opinion. This is one of the most underrated Rolexes. And let's talk about this a second. This is dated 2021. And it's got the all steel bezel, right? So you can't get that anymore. And damn it, I want to pull it up, but I don't want to do it on this on this let me pull it up on my phone and look on the what I'm asking is, I don't think you can get the steel bezel anymore on these. You know what I mean? So first off, I don't think you can get the white. I don't think they make this watch anymore. I'm going to it on my phone to look real quick. Explorer, here's the Explorer. Give me a second here. Okay, so they do have the steel bezel, but not the white dial. So this is what they got. So I guess that's the one they got. So now it looks like that. So it's the same, pretty much the same exact watch, but it's black dial. And they don't have I don't think they have the white dial anymore. Okay, so it still has the steel bezel. That's cool. That must be the only watch where they kept the stainless steel bezel, because I don't think they have any other watches in which they retain the stainless steel bezel. Because now the only other Explorer you can get is this two-tone. You know, you're not going to do much exploring with that. So that's the Explorer, and then the Explorer 2 is the black dial. I don't know if I can configure. If you can configure it. I don't think you can configure it to white. I think it's only black. I think they discontinued the white. So being that is the case, that the white's discontinued, I 100%, you know, this one interests me 100% without a doubt. I've always wanted this watch every time I see it. But what's kept me from buying it is simply finances, literally, because instead of buying this, I buy a Batman. Instead of buying this, I buy a Daytona. Instead of buying this, I bought a vintage Explorer. Instead of buying this, I bought a vintage President. You know, so this watch always gets pushed aside. So it was a low priority buy, a low priority want, and so it hasn't been gotten yet. That's basically what it is. I mean, you know, if I was made of money, I'd already have this one already. But yeah, that's basically where this one sits. Do you guys have any? Do you guys have this one? Anybody have the Explorer 2 in white dial? How do you like that one? You gotta like it. There's no way you can't like this watch. With the orange hand. I'm so surprised this just wasn't one of the hottest watches out there, and that it's even discontinued. How in the world can they discontinue it? It's so unique to have the white dial, and now they just don't have white dial sports watches anymore, like none at all. I just think this was a great. I mean, it's got 2 time zones. It's a GMT, and it's got a date. So this is no different than the Batman. It's got the same everything like the Batman, you know? Um, it just looks different. But it's a dual time zone, 2 hands, 2-hour hands, date. What do you want, you know? I think that's a bargain. There you go. There you go, Raymond. There's your mop dial for you right there. So this is exactly like my day date, but instead of 25 years old, mine's a 18238. This is a new one, brand new, baby. Big boy. Those damn crickets are chirping. This is the big boy, 58,000. Man, it's amazing how much the presidents have gone up now too. That's pretty crazy. So in 2020, 4 years ago, I remember my AD trying to push the discontinued day date on me with diamonds, and it was like 39, 40. So these day dates have gone up easily 20,000. They've gone up that much. The day dates have gone up. So the market's changed substantially. I mean, think about that. Because you know that even in the height of the watch market, when we were rolling 5 years ago, in the height of the market 4 years ago, in the peak of the market, these weren't 50, 60,000 bucks. Are you kidding me? So there's different pockets of the market. You know what I mean? For sure. Like Rolex isn't into producing brand new watches for a discount, I guess, is what I'm trying to say. I mean that what did the retail go up? We didn't look at that. I mean, well, they must be 50,000. Yeah, I mean, the 36 millimeter used to be about $36,000, and it wasn't that much more to go up to the larger one. So they've gone up from like 40 to 50 plus, a solid 10 grand, I'm going to guess. This was a good deal, in my opinion, right here. This was a good deal. This was pretty much almost like my watch, a 18238, but it's a 48 because of the bark bracelet. So this is basically my watch, and mine was 1999, and this is circa 2000. So this was basically my president, but with a bark bracelet and a black dial for 17.6. I think this was a good deal. This was another one I saw and I said, wow, if I was able to pull the trigger on this, I would have pulled the trigger on this, no hesitation. I mean, I think for the price, getting a day date, and it's a double quick set like mine. So I mean, I know what I'm getting here, and it's it's the right watch, the right movement, and it says excellent condition with box. This person scored on this motherfucking watch right here. Sorry. This is another one. This was another one that I was like, man, this one with a Patek. This would have been a hard one to choose between. That would have been a good one to add to the collection. I mean, if you wanted a president, that was an in right there. And I don't know if you like the bark bracelet or not. I like it. I like it. I don't know how much I'd like it in person. I've seen them before. I'd have to try it. But as long as it's in excellent condition, I wouldn't. I'd be fine with it. Yeah, that's a good one. I think those were the two best bargains I saw on the site as of late. Was the Patek Philippe and this one right here. And the oyster quartz. The oyster quartz for 5,000. Those three. Those were three that I would have loved to just add 100% to my collection. Those would have been three great ads. An oyster flex, a vintage bark bracelet, day date, and the whatever hell the other one was, the Patek. Those would have been three great ads, What would have that been? 15, 30, 35 grand? 3 watches? I think this is a good one also. I think this is a good one. That's a good one. Two-tone. Two-tones are typically 15,000, but this one's a special two-tone because it's a Zenith. It's got a Zenith engine, and that means a lot to someone like me. That means everything to me. This is a watch I would buy and not wear it. I would put it away. Beautiful. It'd be hard not to wear this. I would want to wear this so bad. I would want to wear this I would want to wear this all the time. I would want to wear that. It's got papers and everything. That's a good one. I like that one. For the price, I think that's a good one. Call them, make an offer. Tell them you'll give them 14.5. They'll come back and say, we'll do it for 16, and then take it for 16. There's another Zenith right here. I don't know why they charge more for the ones on the straps. Don't ask me that question. I can't give you a good answer. I mean, this one has more gold because it's on a two-tone, but this one costs more. So, and they're the same year. So don't ask me, and they're both Zenith. You see? So don't ask me why they want more for the strap. Do you think the strap looks better and it should be worth more money because of the sheer aesthetics? Because that's clearly what they're going by. I mean, isn't it? Or is it because, no, they both have box, hang tag, papers, and they're pretty much the same year. So I don't know why. You see? And these are the things you got to look for. I mean, I wouldn't spend 24 on this one when you can buy this one for 17.6. There's more value in this one, wouldn't you think? I like that for a lady's watch. And that's a 18238. That's like my watch. But it's a 1991. That's cool. But that's definitely a lady's watch. But that's pretty. Look how the diamonds come through that on the angle. Doesn't that look pretty like that? Absolutely. And that adds the right feminine touch to it to make it a lady's watch. It's perfect how they came up with that. That's a great one. If you wanted to get like something like that for your wife, I mean, 20 grand for a president, and it's the right size, 36. I mean, I'm wearing a 36 and it's not petite for me. So I think the 36 is the right one, especially for a lady's watch. I don't think a lady should go more than the 36 millimeter. It doesn't make sense. There's like the one you like, that 2283 series. Wow. See, I mean, I don't know. I mean, if I really needed to have a big bling president, I guess this would be the one to get, a new large 40 millimeter, 41 millimeter, they cost 50 grand, whatever they cost. But I didn't need all that. I just wanted a day date. And And the way I thought about it was this, you know, the day date was a 36 millimeter, only 36 millimeter for the longest time. I mean, when did they come out with the 40 millimeter day date? They didn't come out with that until recently, right? It hasn't been that long. So it's been 36 millimeter for the longest time as a day date president, as the known presidential watch, right? All the presidents in the past have never worn a 40. They haven't, because it didn't exist. So all the presidents in the past, they all wore 36s. None of the political greats anywhere around the world ever had a 40, because they didn't exist. So what makes me so special that I need a 40? It's not, the 36 isn't good enough for me. You understand my reasoning? The 36 millimeter isn't going to make me happy. I have to spend the extra money on the 40. It doesn't make sense. I got my 36. It's a beautiful president. It fits right on me. I don't have a big old honking hand and wrist. And, you know, I saved money to be able to buy other watches, right? You know, but I understand if this is the one that, it's a big piece. It is a big piece. If that's your thing, to have this one, it's a nice big blingy president for sure. I wouldn't say no to it. I'm just saying though that there are options, and there are good options. And you know, all the great people in the past that wore presidents never even had the opportunity to wear a 40. So you can just kind of close your eyes and pretend they don't even exist and just be happy. I like the sodalite dials. I'm very big on the sodalite dials, all the stone dials, all those vintage dials. If you remember back when we used to go over all the vintage watches years ago on my live streams, and how much I jumped up and down all day long and night long telling everybody, buy as many stone dial vintage day dates as you can. You'll never be able to afford them again. And that was the case. None of them are touchable now. They all tripled in price from when we were looking at them. All of them. All of the day dates with the stone dials all tripled. So if you found this watch 4 years ago, you wouldn't have spent more than $20,000 on this watch. Now it's 47. I'm not bullshitting you. This was a $20,000 watch 4 years ago, and now they're asking 47 for it. And that's the same with all of these beautiful bloodstone dials, the ox, the ox stone, all of those crazy stone dials. And you don't even see them come up anymore. They used to be up a lot. They used to be available. You used to find them. Nobody wanted they used to be like considered like 80s, ugly 80s watches. And I don't get it. To me, they were always the best looking ones. And unfortunately for me, the timing of when I got into watches and understanding what's nice and what's rare and what do I appreciate and what's out there. Even I didn't even know they were out there. You know, I'm buying Submariners, I'm buying Batmans, I'm buying Hulks. I didn't know there were these vintage stone day dates out there. You know, I wasn't a watch guy. And then after I spent my money on all my watches and I already had, you know, 6, 7 Rolexes and a Patek, I see all of these and I'm like, oh crap. Hey, everybody, you better buy these before it's too late, because it's going to be too late one day. And sure as shit, I didn't think they were going to triple in price, but they absolutely tripled in price. Absolutely tripled in price. It's crazy. There's no way this was even 20,000. This was, I'm telling you, this watch was easily less than 20 grand. I mean, to give you an idea, my day date, I paid 10,500 for my day date. So I paid 10,500 for my day date, and this is basically the same watches, just with the stone dial. So instead of 10,000, you know, it was probably, if not around the same price, you know, 13,000. You know what I mean? The stone dials weren't going. This was a mop dial. The stone dials weren't going for any much more than the mop dials. They were all going for this. Nobody wanted these things back then, especially the presidents. I'm telling you, you know, I got this for $10,000 on this same website, and now this same watch on here sells for like 18. So this went up almost double, but the sodalite and the stone dials didn't double, they tripled. So from 15 to 45 grand, there you go. They tripled. 15 to 45. Mine went from 10 to 20. These went from 15 to 45, or if they're 12, they went to 36. But I don't, you're not going to touch any of these stone dials for less than like 30, 35 grand now. And that kills me, because back one of the live streams that I did, you'll find one live stream where that's all we did was go over all of those dials on the day dates. And I remember just the whole stream, I was just saying, one day I'm going to come back and buy all of these dials. I'm going to have just a day date collection, you know, because there was a guy out there that did that has only a day date collection. And on that stream, we were watching his stream, and I wanted to be that guy, the day date guy, you know, but it never happened. But how cool, right? Would that have been, to only own day dates and nothing but Rolex day dates? And the guy has like 25 Rolex day dates, and they're all various dials, and they're all 36. All of them are 36 millimeter. Fun. That's really fun stuff, you know? I see that being very fun collecting. I like this a lot. That's an amazing. This is absolutely amazing and stunning. And I think that's worth the price, 34. Solid gold Zenith with diamonds on it to boot. You know, but you can't really wear these watches now. These ones are ones you're going to you're going to buy and hold for the fun of collecting, for the love of the watch hobby. And you know, this will be a $50,000 watch in a couple of years, and eventually it'll be a $70,000 watch one day. Because, you know, one day, you know, let's just say in the year 2046, this is going to be a 50-year-old watch. And when this is a 50-year-old watch, there's going to be kids today that are doing what we're doing on here, talking about watches now, but later in the future. And they're going to be looking at watches like this, and they're going to be like, man, this is a Rolex 1996 Zenith. Do you know what that means? Do you know what that means? This has a Zenith movement in it. You know, this is going to be amazing stuff to watch people in the future. Trust me. You know, these things are going to fetch. These are all going to be collector. This is going to be a collector piece. You know what I mean? Fun, right? And it makes it more fun when you can understand that, and you have you can understand that, like knowing that that's where your hobby goes, and knowing that that's, you know, there's that much passion in it, right? It's a lot of fun. Oh man, we went through all the Rolexes. Crazy. Holy crud, that took just probably hours. I don't even know if it's morning time, and I got no sleep. It's 4:35. I got no sleep. Let's see. I think I better end the stream here. I didn't even touch Patek Philippe. So that was kind of fun going through the Rolexes. I didn't even think I was going to even have anything to talk about Rolex in here. And it was fun having a couple of you chaps in the stream with me. Thank you for joining, Eric and Raymond and Schlubling and whoever else happens to be watching. We'll we'll try to get a watch stream going one of these days. All right. And I know at 3 a.m. nobody's going to be able to come in. Everybody's asleep, but me. But anyway, all right. I think I'll end it here. Thank you, and have a good one. Good night. I'm going to get some sleep. Peace.